So talk us through first getting in the EPS after having a few good years, and then finally getting the crack. Like, how did that go?
That was like, let me not lie to you, I was like kind of shocked um, when I first got the email. Was it an email? So I was living at Anthony's house. I can remember it so vividly. Like I woke up and Anthony Watson is like, "Did you get an email?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And we were just gassed because obviously I was living with Anthony and JJ at the time, and obviously they were playing
Yeah.
regularly. It was me, just living there. So then we had to go down to Brighton. I remember being bare nervous, like, and on my phone was bugging. So I have this thing where I just keep the same phone for years because I don't really care for technology like that. And I'm in camp now, and everything goes through WhatsApp in camp. Like they tell you your schedule through WhatsApp. They tell you like everywhere you have to be. If there's changes to the schedule, it's through WhatsApp. And my phone was bugging, so it wouldn't turn on. So, and this is like the first day in camp. So like my phone's not turning on and I'm just bugging and I'm panicking the whole time. And but lucky, like I don't even think Mara was there for this camp because that helps me quite a lot when Mara was there in the early days. But like Anthony was there and JJ were there, so I would just like sit next to them and there. Dylan Hartley was like captain at the time and stuff like that, and he was quite helpful and people were just helpful at the time. Yeah.
What was your relationship with? How did you find working with Eddie for that period of time?
Me and Eddie like had a real good relationship, to be fair.
Yeah.
Um, he was always like quite like I think he just got me. I think some coaches just don't get people. Like that's basically like an issue. They want the best for you, but they just don't get how you respond to things or how we're gonna get you to play well or get you to improve. And he just understood how I like worked as a human. And I think that's why we kind of got along. And I had quite a close relationship with him, to be fair.
Beno, firstly, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
You
having me.
hear you hear a lot of players talk about coaches got great people skills, but then the way they coach probably doesn't fit the squad or the particular type of playing group. Or on the other flip of the coin is the coach really knows how to coach, but then he doesn't have the great people skills. Do you think Eddie had one, both, or yeah, had both of those kind of talents?
I think he had both. I think he had both, but like he has a. It's. I'm coming from like. I want to be clear here. I'm coming from like quite a biased perspective. You ask people that like came into camp and then never came in again. They would say he doesn't have the greatest people skills. Do you understand?
Mm.
But like obviously for me, he had the greatest. He had good personal people skills, and like even if he didn't, I truly think he actually tried to. Because he was quite a bright man. Like he's one of those people that knew something about everything. Whether they know like a lot about that particular topic, you probably not, but they know something. And then you're able to discuss that with him. And he was really good at that, I felt. And he tried, but I just think like when you like at any age you become a certain person. And obviously you're here, George is here, etc. Like you view the world in a certain way. And as a result of the way you view the world, it's going to affect the people that you want to work with. Um, and I think that played in quite heavily on some of his decision makings, personnel wise. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
I think that's one of those things where if you're always going to be working with different personalities, there's always going to be someone that is affected.
yeah, precisely. Yeah, like to like someone with a particular personality, you have to dislike someone else. If that makes sense, like you
Mm.
can't like two opposing personalities,
You
because then
can't
you
you can't keep
particularly
everyone
like
happy.
one personality. Yeah, exactly.
Do you think Eddie's way of dealing with certain people, you highlighted that he'd obviously got softer as the years had gone on. Do you think that's a result of what's going on in terms of like mental health, the way you speak to people, the way people take information? Do you think he's adapted to arguably the current climate, or do you think he's just seen rugby move in a certain way whereby he's got to adapt and be a little bit softer around the edges?
It's tough, like, because we're speculating somewhat, but I think essentially he knows the people he's dealing with a little bit better. Like, he may have set out his stall at the beginning. So, like, you know the worst of this person. Like, you know what this person's capable of. And then over a period of time, you can soften because they understand what you're capable of and they're not going to take the piss at this point. But that's like sort of speculation. I don't really know why. There was a factor as well that there was one Six Nations we were in and we did badly. And he was sort of like, well, we've trained this hard and I've gone this hard at you over this period of time. And this has been the result. Like, we haven't done that well. So, like, obviously, if we haven't done that well, I have to change something that we're doing. And I remember him saying something to that effect that, like, if we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, if we're not getting the result that we want. And then I think there was sort of a shift then, around 2018.
It's almost.
Go on. Sorry, Ben.
Go on.
No, you go.
It's almost like he's become a bit more retrospective on his coaching method style to fit the mold of players he has.
Yeah, like do you remember when I was saying like he constantly wants to improve? That's what I was trying to explain essentially. Like, it is like an awareness and an understanding of the group you've got and like the results that you're getting and the way that you're training and then adapting that accordingly. And he genuinely does that. Like, I don't know if that comes across and when he speaks publicly, but he genuinely tries to change and adapt and improve every single time. Or that's what I felt, at least.